Hi everybody! Today we are going to be creating a cat drawn in the style of the artist named Laurel Burch. And she is known for kind of her funky paintings of different kinds of cats, and they don't look totally realistic, so don't panic if this does not look like what you're fully expecting. So for this project, it is helpful if we have our paper divided into sections. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my paper. I am going to line up my edges. Then I hold them down once they're lined up. I pull out from, and then I go out to the side, out to the side. So now I've folded my paper kind of like it's a card. Next I'm going to open it back up. And I am going to make a long rectangle. So again, I line up my edges the best that you can. If it's not perfect, it's absolutely fine. Then I go out to the side, out to the side. And I should have, when I'm all finished, a paper that is divided fairly neatly into fourths. Now, I'm going to trace my folds just so that you can see them a bit better. You do not need to trace yours, because you will be able to see them on your paper. And you might not be able to see them very well. That's okay. You'll get the idea. Okay, so you can kind of see where my lines are. They're fairly light, but that's all right. I am going to be using a Sharpie to do my drawing. You should be using a pencil just in case you make a mistake. It makes it a lot easier and a lot less stressful. So, I'm going to be working in this top box to start. I am actually going to start right here, so a little bit in from the corner, fairly close to the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make kind of this weird W shape. So I'm going to come down, curving a little bit, touch that fold up. So now it looks like I have a backwards J. I'm going to come back down. I'm going to touch the side and I'm going to pull back up. So it looks kind of like a weird W. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make the top line of the head, which is going to show where the ears are, the top of the head, and the other ear. So I'm going to come down, across, and back up. So now I have my two ears and where the top of the head would be. Then I'm going to make two dots. I'm going to make one right about here and one right about there. From these dots, I'm going to make the eyes. Now, the eyes are going to come, I'm going to make a wide hill out to the side, touch the side of that shape that we just drew. That is part of the style of Laurel Burch. Her cats have these really big, wide eyes. And now, in the space between, we are going to pull down. We are going to pull down and come across. Okay, now we get to add some details to the face. We're going to pull this line up to where that nose ends. We are going to add what looks like a big circle and then a smaller circle inside each eye. So big circle, smaller circle. And if they don't perfectly match, that's okay. Inside the ears, we're also going to add what looks like a little mountain line. And we are also going to add a line that curves under the eyes We're going to add where that little mouth is. So there's our cat's little chin. And we need 3 whiskers on each side. So we're going to pull out 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to make it look as symmetrical as possible. 1, 2, 3. So now if you look at it, we actually have a pretty decent cat's face. So the next part that we're going to add is going to be our cat's body, and it is going to start just above the eye because we're going to make it look like the back is coming from the back and it's sitting down. So we are going to start right about here, and we are going to curve out and down. He's kind of a big guy. Back up. So I have crossed through all 3 of my sections that I've divided my paper into. My line is right about here, so I've crossed a little ways into that. Next, we're going to make the 2 front legs that would come down. So right from this big puffy cheek, we are going to pull a line straight down. Then we're going to curve in. And we're going to make kind of a W. 1, 2, and just connect to there. So there's this cute little paws. After we have done our cute little paws, we're going to pull the tail forward. So his tail, or her tail, either way is fine, is going to come up. And then this curve is going to be a little bit smaller, so don't make that one too huge, because otherwise you won't have room for the rest of your tail. So right now this is one edge of the tail. Now I'm going to curve around, and I'm going to follow that shape. And there is our tail coming forward. Now we get to kind of do the fun part. Laurel Burch is very well known for having different kind of patterns in her cats. So in some, there might be circles, there might be squares, there might be triangles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the little lines for the toes. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I'm going to start to add some triangles along my cat. Now you can put them in nice neat rows if you want to. You do not have to. Laurel Burch tended to have them in rows, but again, that is a choice because this is your artwork. Alright, so now I have my cat, and it mostly fills my paper. So something that I'm going to do for this is I'm going to reinforce some of the color vocabulary that we know. So Laurel Burch's cat, so the cat that we just drew, we're going to use warm colors to color it. So reds, oranges, and yellows. And then the background, you can choose a cool color to use. So blue, violet, or green. And this way the cat's really going to stand out because warm and cool colors are opposites. And they make the other colors tend to pop. So our cat is really going to stand out against a nice, cool background. Something that you can try to do, and for some of you this might be a challenge if you just want to make it one solid color in the background, that's absolutely fine. But what you can do is you can do part of it towards the top, and this is just in the body, and I'm going to do part of it with crayon with a lighter color. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a darker color and I'm going to kind of make it blend together so that the top part is lighter than the dark part. Than the bottom part, excuse me. So I'm going to start coloring, And watch for when I switch the oranges so that I get a darker orange at the bottom. And then we will go from there. Okay, at this point, I have finished coloring my Laurel Burch style cat. And you'll notice that up here, the orange is a lot lighter than down here. I started with a yellow orange, I added in regular orange, and then this is red orange. So I really tried to make sure that I was using the warm colors inside my cat and then a nice cool color on the outside so that I have a contrast between my cat and the background. I hope you enjoyed following along, and I would love to see your creations. If you want to send them to me, I would appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.